G'day guys and welcome back to the Ohazassu channel. It's John here in Nagoya, Japan. I'm an Aussie, I've been here for almost 14 years and I make videos about life in Japan, the language, and whenever I get to travel, a bit about that as well. Cheers. Alright, so in today's episode, I'm going to share a funny story with you today. Something that happened when I first came to Japan. I had to convert my Australian driver's license to a Japanese one. Australia is really lucky in that way. They actually, have this agreement with Japan so that you can convert it. A lot of people, unfortunately, have to go through the entire process of the Japanese driver's license testing system, which I've heard can be quite difficult. So I really appreciated the fact that Australia has this agreement going. All you have to do is have the correct documents ready, and believe me, you don't want to mess this part up because otherwise you might have to go back to Australia to get the documents. All I needed was a quick visit to the driver's license centre to do a few administrative tasks, which we're going to talk about in this episode. Alright, so one of the things that they seem to do everywhere in the world, with good reason, is an eye test. Being from Australia, I was accustomed to a certain type of eye test, and I thought that this was standardized everywhere across the world. We have randomized letters across a little board that we have to look at by covering one eye and the other and reading the letters out as they get smaller from top to bottom. So the instructor might say, please read the top line, please read the fourth line, and so on. And so the letters are organized in a random order. So if you're able to read them, you'll be able to read them in the correct sequence that the instructor is expecting from you, and you'll pass the eye test. Now in Japan, no one told me that the test was going to be different, and why would they? I mean, wherever you go, wherever you're born, that's normal to you, right? So in Japan, this test is completely normal. But the test I was accustomed to doesn't seem to exist at a driver's license center in Japan. I've seen them in certain places at optometrists and so on, but the test I'm about to describe seems to be more prevalent in Japan. And I might put a graphic up on the screen for this to help me explain. It's basically a test where the letter C is presented to you in various positions, and you're supposed to tell the person examining you which direction the gap in the C is facing. So let's quickly cover that. This would be up, this would be down, this would be left, and this would be right. Okay, makes sense. Real easy, right? Problem is, I had never seen this test in my life, like not once, and I had never heard anyone speak of it, so I had no idea what the hell was going on. So the guy told me to look into this machine. It looked like a pair of binoculars, or if you know what they are, a stereo microscope, where you have two things that you're looking down, and I could see the letter C. Okay, now being from Australia, where we read letters and not say the direction where a gap is pointing, I immediately said C. I thought I was going to be presented with a bunch of random letters, and the first letter happened to be C. So the thing turns on, I look into it, and it says C, so I say C. And the guy looks at me, and just to give you a bit of context, this makes it even funnier. The driver's license center is where a lot of retired police officers go, and they can be a bit rough on the edges, and so they're not really known for not having short tempers, I'll put it that way. Mind you though, in general they're okay, but you'll come across the odd officer who can be quite strict and quite short-tempered. And so I look up at him and I go, C. And he looks at me, puzzled, of course, and he was one of those guys that was a bit short, and he looks at me and he goes, yes, C. And he thought I was saying see, like look, as in the verb to see. And he's like pointing at the machine going, yes, yes, see, look. And I'm going, yeah, I looked and it said C. And he looked so damn confused. I wish I had a camera with me and I wish I took a photo of his face. That would have been the thumbnail of this video. And he looked so puzzled. And it took us about, I don't know, it felt like 5 minutes. I'm sure it was shorter. It felt like eternity. And we were trying to figure out what the miscommunication was. And the funny thing is, I was actually speaking in Japanese, and he thought I couldn't speak Japanese, so he kept on saying C. So I'm like, yeah, mitemasu yo, and I'm like, C. And he's like, yeah, but like, and he had to spell it out like I'm a 5-year-old. He's going like right, up, left, down, and I'm like, oh my God, like that, And the thing is, because these are tests that you do from a very young age, it would never cross anyone's mind that, I have to explain this to this person like they're 5. Okay, because people grow up with it here and it's just normal, And so I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And the guy, I mean, understandably, at first I was a bit frustrated and thinking, why is he getting so angry at me? And, what a grumpy old man and whatever. And then after I left, I kind of reflected on it and I was like, you know what? If it was me, I would probably do exactly the same, if not worse. By the way, if you've got one of your own funny stories, feel free to drop it down below. I always love reading about funny stories in Japan or anywhere in the world, actually. These things can happen no matter which country you're in. Okay, so that's it for that story, and that means it's time for word of the day. Before I get into that, let me just have another sip of this beautiful stuff. So today's word of the day, as always, is going to be related to what I've spoken about during the video. Can you guess what it is? I'm going to go with eye test, or you may call it a vision test, and it's shiryoku kensa. It's a bit of a mouthful to say that I've always had trouble pronouncing that R-Y-O or the R-Y-U, but practice it enough times and you'll get it. Shiryoku kensa. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked the video, please support me by clicking on that subscribe button and liking the video. And if you have any friends who might be interested in this sort of stuff, please share it with them as well. It really helps the channel out. Anyway, I'll catch you at the next one. Bye for now.